Welcome back to Kino's and Kina's YouTube channel.
Okay, today's topic is the responsibilities and the dangers of cell phones. When we first got cell phone for Kina and Markel, we were kind of green. We didn't understand all the dangers. We knew about it, but we didn't really understand all the dangers of it. We talked to them about it. We told them the do's and don'ts, but we didn't take some of the measures that I think some parents should take measures on. It's software out there now that you can monitor, and I think a lot of kids, in my opinion, really don't understand some of the dangers of the cell phone. It's good and bad. It's ways of communication, but it's accessibility to a lot of stuff. I know me as a kid growing up, if we had cell phones in my generation, with the trouble we got in without them, I could only imagine what kind of trouble we would get into with them back then. We had the pay phones and the house phones. If somebody didn't have a house phone, you go to your friend's house and get on the house phone. But to have access and video, I can only imagine what my generation would have done. So my daughter had a cell phone previously. She doesn't have one now, but she has earned the ability to once again get a cell phone, which brings on this conversation. She earned it as a reward, not as a privilege or as a reward. Pretty much she earned it by her GPA. Me and cell phones, I really don't. For kids, I don't care for them because I don't think they understand the risk of them. But because she kept her end of the bargain, me and my wife, we were going to keep ours. We're going to get her a cell phone. So going into that, one of the things we're going to do as parents is help us trust her. We're going to have monitoring software on it, so we'll be able to access whatever we do. Some parents might not do that. I'm not telling you to. I'm just saying for me and my wife, well, especially me, it'll make me feel better being able to know what she's doing. I know some parents say they just get the phone and go through it. But in my opinion, these kids know way more about these phones than we do. They can hide stuff, they can do stuff. And I honestly feel like if they know we're looking, it's going to help them not to do some stuff that they might do. I'm going to let Kina come in and chime in on what she thinks, and then I'll come back and chime in on what she thinks. Go ahead, Miss Kina.
I know that cell phones are dangerous, but what about if let's say, like an example, let's say a little girl, she just walk in and then somebody just try to grab her. She could easily just grab her phone, hit 911, put it in her back pocket, and then she could just start yelling help. And then the police can ping her phone, and then they can see wherever she's being taken. I know that's like a crazy out of the box example, but it could happen. And although cell phones are dangerous, I think that everybody should have one. It's 2020. Everybody has a cell phone, or at least you should have one. I don't think kids that's in elementary school should have one, but I think as soon as you get into middle school, you should have a cell phone, because a lot of stuff's going on in middle school. But I just think that kids should have cell phones. Yeah.
So what do you think about the rules that your parents set for your cell phone? What do you think, especially young girls, should really do about that? What information would you give them, or should I say, instruction on the do's and don'ts if you have that cell phone? What would you tell them? The do's and don'ts. What would you tell them from your experience?
Don't do inappropriate things. Don't do that. If you can't talk to boys, don't talk to boys. if the cell phone is just for one thing, just use it for that one thing. If it's just to call and text your parents, and then just call and text your parents or your friends or whatever. But I guess just don't do what your parents say don't do.
Don't put yourself in harm's way.
Yeah.
So you agree that it's girls, you know, the little girls that have taken pictures and sent it to boys and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So you would tell the girls, be careful that some of the stuff that we've talked about really can happen. Yep. And that's my biggest fear. That is some picture out there of your daughter doing something or inappropriately dressed or looking at something even on the internet that they shouldn't be looking at. It's so many things. But us as parents, I've seen kids as young as 6 years old with their own cell phone. And parents think it's cute. In my opinion, I think they think it's cute that their kids should have all these things. They just playing games. These are computers, in my opinion. We have to make sure that they are monitored. I don't care how old they are. If you're paying that cell phone bill, you should invest in the software. Be able to know everything they're doing. We were kids. And if you have daughters, fathers, I talk about daughters and dads all the time. I know what kind of guy I was as a young man. I know what kind of stuff I said to little girls to get them to do things I wanted them to do. And I could only imagine some of the things that they would have done for me with a cell phone with a camera back then. If you don't want your daughter hurt, you don't want her embarrassed, you don't want something out there that they'll have to live with for the rest of their life. Boys too, as far as that goes. But especially daughters. You don't want them having images all over the internet. You can't take it back. It doesn't go away. It's there forever. 20 years from now, somebody pull up a picture of them inappropriate. When we did stuff wrong, it was talked about for a little while, but it went away. Even when girls did things, it was talked about and went away. Some girls probably, it was videotapes back then, but very few guys, But now, every phone has a recorder, every phone has a camera, and you can share that stuff so fast. I just know the responsibility for my daughter is abide by the rules that we set. If you break those rules, that phone is gone. Period. Once again, she had one before. She hasn't had one a couple years now, but she has earned the right to get it back. She understands now that when we say that's what it is, that's what it is. I'm opening up to understand now she's at an age where she is going to talk to boys. She is going to talk to people. I understand that. But it's rules. We have to sit down and communicate with especially our teenage daughters. Hey, time limits, video chats, doing stuff, any twerking, all that crazy, twerking online, twerking on videos, walking around half dressed, none of that. I mean, you can only tell them, but you got to have the spyware to know what they're doing. Simply put, you got to make them responsible. It's a contract. Me and my daughter have a contract. We're going into everything we do almost as a contract, meaning it's an agreement between me and her. Because I want her to understand, hey, I said A, B, and C, we're not going to go back. And, well, you didn't, no. A, B, be very detailed. I think this conversation of, I pay the bill, I can do what I want. I pay the bill on their phone, that ain't your phone, and telling them what, I can look at it and they thinking it's their phone, that sound good. But you have to monitor that phone more than you want to monitor your own, because they can be put in harm's way. Do you understand why I'm so crazy about you getting a cell phone?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Tell the people. Because what?
Because of what happened last time.
Okay. We ain't gonna go into what happened last time. We'll leave that at that. It ain't y'all business. It's our business.
And don't be asking.
Don't be asking. She's not gonna
don't.
tell you. I'm not gonna say. But at the end of the day, she lost her phone. She's getting it back. It's not about trust this time. It's about you earned it. And I think if we did more of the earning of a cell phone than the privilege of a cell phone, I think they would be handled better. I think if they earn their phone, hey, your GPA is whatever y'all come up with. Your grades got to be this. You got to do A, B, C, and D. For some parents, it might be your chores around the house. You got to do this. If you don't, that phone is gone. Don't reward them with something just because we feel like we want them to have what we didn't have. Her part of the deal is don't put yourself in harm's way. Hold up your end of the bargain. Be respectable of yourself. Earn your parents' trust with your phone. Be able to just say, here, give it to them. Look at it. I tell my daughter a funny quote all the time. She said, what do you do in certain situations? I said, whatever you do in life, if you can't do it in front of your father or your pastor, don't do it. She said, that's nothing. I said, well, that's life. Until you get your own phone outside of your parents' house, paying that bill, kids out there, be careful with these cell phones. They are very dangerous. It takes a great responsibility with cell phones. There's stuff on there that you're going to have access to that you shouldn't. Just be careful. What would you tell them? The girls out there, the young teenagers listening?
Don't do nothing that you're not supposed to. Or don't do nothing that somebody else wants you to do, but you know you're not supposed to do it, but you want to do it anyway, so they can like you. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Trust me.
Well, that's Keno and Keno. We're going to be coming back with more videos. Some of them fun, some of them not so serious.
Yeah.
We're going to come back with other stuff. She has ideas. But once again, we want parents, fathers, daughters to tune in. We're trying to bridge the gap of communication between dads and daughters. It's rough. I have 3 daughters. And it's rough. The older they get, the harder it is. But if you talk enough and pour into them enough, they'll go back to what you say later in life. And they'll see that you're not the bad guy all the time. So, hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Check us out, like, share, subscribe. But once again, just a simple topic. Cell phones and the responsibility of cell phones. Be careful, kids. Fathers, talk to your daughters.
And what if it's our mom's watching?
Mothers, hey, this is about daddies and daughters, though. Hey, talk to them. Be careful. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all watching. Peace.